Are you perfect? Are you a blameless friend or student? Have you gone 100% on every test you've ever taken? Me neither. But to be honest, don't you kind of want to? Hello, my name is Michael Church, and big shocker, I'm not perfect. But I sure am a perfectionist. On one hand, I strive to be perfect, and yet I've failed in so many things in my life. I have messed up, forgotten things, and hurt the ones around me. My classmates in this chapel could probably think of many instances where I've not been the best classmate. The thing about me that they may not know is that I remember those instances too, and feel bad. I'm really hard on myself, even though I don't know how to show it. To my classmates and teachers, I know I sometimes look undisciplined, too easily crossing the line between having fun and being a jerk. But when that happens, I truly feel that I've let myself and the ones around me down. The thing about being a perfectionist is being hard on yourself. Is that when you focus really hard on discipline in some areas, and for me, that's sports and fitness, then the mess can spill out into other areas. I haven't figured out how to get the balance right yet. I'm working on finding balance with my self-control, being as disciplined in my personal behavior as I am about my diet or working out. And it's not easy, because deep down inside me, I'm hardwired to be a perfectionist. Of course, I know being perfect is impossible, but I strive to be close to it. Then I beat myself up for falling short. For example, I play baseball. If anyone who knows this sport knows it is impossible to be a perfect player. You are even considered great if you succeed only 30% of the time. 30%. And yet, I used to think after every game and every season that I wasn't good enough. That 30% was terrible. I was never happy with my results, and eventually that meant I was never happy in general. I became miserable around my family and classmates just because of my baseball stats. So my family decided to bring me to a sports psychologist to help take pressure off me, to help me accept that perfection wasn't really an option. After a few weeks of seeing this psychologist, I began to feel better. I understood that I needed to feel comfortable with failing. I needed to learn that most things in life won't have a perfect outcome. It's a hard thought to grasp. It's like the joke how every kid is above average. It's statistically impossible, and yet everyone tries so hard to be perfect. We struggle to accept that life is a baseball game. You will fail 70% of the time. Be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. If we took the verse that Sophia read for us today out of context, we might think Jesus is really telling us to be perfect. But he tells us this just after he reminds us that God's light shines on the good people and the evil people both. And that in the same way, we should love our enemies. And the thing about being a perfectionist is that we are usually our own worst enemy, because we are so hard on ourselves, even though our self-abuse can spill out onto other people and make us seem mean. Still, it's hard for us perfectionists to learn to be kind to ourselves. Our world is about numbers. You need a certain GPA to get into a high school or college. You need certain years of experience to get a job you've been wanting for. We all need a minimum of something to get what we want. The world says we need to be as close to perfect as possible, or else we won't have a job, or we won't be happy. Well, this is partly true. Even if you aren't perfect, you still need to work hard to have a life you can be proud of. But when you earn that 98% or get passed over for a job, you should still feel proud, knowing that you did your best. I'm working on feeling this way, and I wish that for the rest of you perfectionists. I think Jesus is trying to tell us that perfection isn't the goal. I mean, imagine a world that isn't perfect. You get everything, and you don't have to work to earn anything. You would get no satisfaction. We live in an imperfect world, so we can feel proud of our efforts and successes. Even when we fail, we can still feel proud of our hard work. In a perfect world, you won't work hard for anything. We need to learn to be comfortable in our own skin, to live a little. If we try too hard to be perfect, we'll drive ourselves insane, trying to cross a finish line that isn't there. And believe me, I've done it to myself. My wish for all of us is to take pride in our hard work, accept our limitations, and make peace with our failures. To remember that God's light shines in our successes and mistakes. When we accept this about ourselves, it also becomes easier to accept other people, whether they defeated us or disappointed us by making a mistake. And God's light shines on them too. Maybe when we learn this lesson about ourselves and others, then we get close to the kind of perfection that God really cares about. Thank you.